Hello friends, today I'm so excited because I get to review a figure that I've bought at GameStop that's of a character from a game, but is also a Marvel Legend. How rare is that? This is the Spider-Man from Insomniac's Spider-Man game. So this figure of Spider-Man from Spider-Man, I wish that game had a subtitle, it's got a pretty good sculpt. This is not your typical Marvel Legends Spider-Man. They've used a more muscular body than they usually do, which is appropriate because the Spider-Man in the new game is like in his 20s or something. I think he's finished college, so he's got to be like mid-20s or older. I'm not sure. But the sculpt up above the waist and the head is all pretty great. I mean, it's got lots of detail in the musculature, and like it's got even more on the thighs down there. But if I had a complaint, it's that his thighs are not this roided out in the game. They don't look that buff. You know, they're kind of more realistic, I guess. But a bigger complaint is all this white stuff here. In the game, this is armor, and it's, you know, raised. It's separate material, and it's not a raised sculpted thing here on the suit. Nothing is a raised sculpted thing on the suit. It's just painted, which, I mean, the white stuff at least should be raised, but, I mean, no big deal. The webbing's not raised or engraved at all. It's just painted on, but that's how it should be. The web pattern in the game is just on there. And, you know, Doc Ock made this suit with a white spider emblem because apparently high contrast colors reduce your visual processing time, so this will literally slow down the bad guy's reaction times. But, you know, to that I say, Doc Ock, wouldn't a less bright suit keep you hidden longer? And then they wouldn't even notice you and you wouldn't have to worry about their reaction times? But whatever. We need to move on to the paint. And the paint on that white spider is pretty clean. It's a cleanly applied decal, I guess. But, you know, the problem with it is it doesn't line up with the edges. Like, look at that white spider leg that doesn't come to the edge. And also, the edge they chose to end this at, with this leg, the second from the top, it's supposed to be further out. They had to kind of fudge it to get the whole thing on there. And there's a lot of little things with the paint they had to fudge. Sculpt too, like there's supposed to be these lines, these thick seam lines that go down the thighs, front and back, and then over the torso and all over the shins, and they're just totally not here. Not sculpted, not painted. I mean, a really good company, a high-end company, I should say, would have sculpted and painted those lines. I mean, not to say Hasbro's bad, but like, you know, they are working on a budget. And this is a $20 figure on a budget, so it's about what can be expected. What's unacceptable, though, is this thing, this break in the web pattern, the blue line there, that's supposed to be curvy. It's not supposed to be this straight angle line. And there's a lot of little details like that missing. I mean, here, this is supposed to be like, I mean, it is curvy, but it's supposed to be like, not pointing straight down like this. And then, don't get me started on the shoes. This heel up here is supposed to come way higher, but I guess that was a sacrifice they had to make to get it all on his tiny little foot on the buck they were already using. So overall, the sculpt, I mean, there's details missing, and then same with the paint. There are details missing. Strangely on the back, though, like, this is probably like the most accurate part back here, the back side of the torso, because you're not missing too many of those seam lines, and like, the spider is positioned right and everything, and I don't know, the back's kind of perfect. Spider's a little off on the front. The head is good. I mean, mostly acceptable. I wish those seam lines were there because they would have brought out some cool detail, but Hasbro did an okay job. Even if they missed a few minor details like that, and the line break thing up there, and not sculpting the armor, but, you know, it's a budget issue. Now we get to the articulation, which I think is sort of a mixed bag. Let's get so we can actually see Spider-Man's head, because it can look pretty far up, so we should look far up too. Looks that far up, that far down, goes all the way around, just like you'd expect on a Marvel Legend figure. Pretty awesome. The shoulders have butterfly joints, and they've got hinge and swivel. He gets a little bit above 90. Very good. Goes all the way around. And then the butterfly joints, they can come this far forward. If I can get my stupid thumb out of the way. That far forward. And then they come this far back, which is kind of crazy, but I guess it's really good for, like, diving poses, like, whoo, he's in free fall. Woo! He has a mid-torso or diaphragm joint, whatever you want to call it. It goes that far back, that far forward. Very good range on that. And the waist is swivel, and it goes all the way around. No real issue with the degree of freedom, but I do have an issue with, like, it's kind of, it rests off center. Like, watch, I'll try and center it, and it just goes off to that side. I mean, it's kind of springy. And you move it that far and it stays, but try to get it right here and it just springs back to this off-center point. And it really bugs me. Hasbro really bugs me. The hips are on balls and sadly there's no hinges in there. So, I mean, he can get pretty high up there, but when it comes to doing the splits, it's a little stiffer because there's not a hinge like there usually is. It's just kind of, I don't know if you can kind of see up Spider-Man's crotch or if you want to, but like there's no hinge. So it's a little different and limits the articulation a little bit, but I mostly care about this, and this is still very good, so I'm okay with that. Then he has swivels at the thighs, double knees, and hinge and pivot rocker ankles. Very awesome articulation as usual, Hasbro. Awesome job. So here is Spider-Man in the packaging. It says Gamerverse up top, and it doesn't say Marvel Legends anywhere, even though it totally is Marvel Legends. But so far, this is the only 6-inch figure I've seen with the Gamerverse thing, and hopefully Marvel does some more. I mean, if they make some more video games that people really like and really want figures of. Anyways, on the side, there's render from the game of Spider-Man in his new costume, and there's the same render on the other side, so that's good for finding him on the pegs in the store. But then on the back, there's like 3 screenshots of the render from the game, obviously. And that's kind of weird, because Marvel Legends almost always have pictures of the figure on the back, but whatever. This is just a one-off special packaging, and thankfully there's no GameStop sticker on mine anywhere. Usually there will be, but I got him before they managed to put that on because he was just on the shelf. Anyways, let's cut a little bit of tape on the sides here. And just pull this flap open. So our tray can slide out and you can see the new Spider logo back there is really nice and big. That's pretty cool looking. And there's even the suit texture on the back. If you could look up close, there's those little hexagons that I guess Doc Ock put on Spider-Man's costume. What's really nice about the tray Spider-Man comes packaged in is it has a front half to basically protect it, and that doubles as the window box. If I'm not mistaken, most Marvel Legends aren't like that usually. This is a very special figure. In fact, what's so special about him is no twist ties. It just pops on out. Wow. Awesome packaging. Very easy, very collector friendly, I'd say. So this Spider-Man comes with some awesome accessories. Out of the box, he comes with a right hand that's a fist and a left hand that's for web swinging. But then he also comes with a left fist, a right hand for web swinging, and these 2 web swinging webs, the web lines, the strings, the ropes that shoot out of his arms. They're webs. You know what they are, spider webs for Spider-Man. So to switch the hands, we'll pop the old ones off and see how hard that is. Oh, a little firm, but that's good. It's better than it being loose. And then left hand, awesome. We'll just pop the new right hand in. It's a little firm, but no problemo. Hinges just fine. And the new left hand also pops in nice and firm. Not too difficult. Awesome, Hasbro. So obviously the web accessories you want to go on his web swinging hand because it won't really fit over the fist. And like it's kind of hard to fit over the web swinging hand too. But I have a good solution for that, which is just to rip this thing out and put it right there. And then pop your web swinging hand on. I'm going to say web swinging a lot in this review. And then it's kind of on there, but I'd kind of prefer it to be over the thumb. And then even once it's on there, there's no bendy wire in this. So like, what are you going to do with it? I mean, you're going to have him hang from it? Because like, I mean, I guess he could grip the other end if he came with gripping hands. He doesn't come with wall crawling hands either. But I mean, I guess the web would have been a better solution, but a better option than wall crawling hands, honestly. But the way it's implemented, it's just kind of weak sauce. Like, I would have liked some wall crawling hands, honestly, Hasbro. Give us that next time. You can fit it over his hand like this, or like this if you want, just, you know, excluding the thumb either way, but I don't think either one's that particularly good looking for, you know, a pose where he's shooting a web. Like this looks like it's coming out the top of his hand, unfortunately. And this doesn't really look like it's coming out the bottom of his hand. I mean, I don't know. I'll try and get it so it's out the bottom. And this way doesn't really look like it's coming out the top of his hand. It just looks like there's some string dangling on him. I mean, get it around the thumb again, I guess, this way. And didn't get it on that way the first time. I mean, it's not ideal. It's not really suited for poses where it looks like he's shooting the web, but I mean, you can kind of hang him from it, I guess. You get 2 of them. You can use 2 at once. I'm not gonna. I think they're kind of useless, honestly. If they had bendy wires, they'd be a lot better, Hasbro. But, I mean, good effort, I guess. I'm pretty happy with Spider-Man's accessories. Like I said, though, I would have preferred wall-crawling hands to these non-bendy wire web thingies. Maybe I'm just using them wrong. You tell me how to use them in the comments. You tell me! So that's it for accessories. Now let's look at the scale. Insomniac's Spider-Man stands at about 6.5 inches tall, which is a bit taller than your typical teenage-aged pizza delivery Spider-Man, but a bit shorter than a DC Batman. Get out of here, Batman. This is Spider-Man only. Here he is with the Rhino and the Scorpion, who both show up in the game, and a Ben Reilly Spider-Man, a 2099 Spider-Man, Miles Morales Spider-Man, and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. And it's pretty cool to compare them because some of these guys show up as alternate costumes for the Insomniac Spider-Man in the game. So this figure is a pretty good effort from Hasbro. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It's missing some details, and what details are there aren't 100% accurate, but it's okay. It definitely captures the spirit of the Insomniac Spider-Man. If I had some complaints, it's that the accessories are, they're kind of weak sauce. You know, I don't really know what to do with those webs, but I appreciate the extra hands. I think an extra head would have been cool, Hasbro. I see no reason you can't always give us unmasked heads. And another big complaint is that waist is messed up on mine. In fact, the way he's standing right now, you can see a gap. You can see right through him, like the light goes right through him. That's not particularly good, Hasbro, but you did a good job overall. So do I recommend this guy? Well, heck yeah, because he's an awesome Spider-Man design that I really love, and I can't tell you when we're going to get another figure of him at this price point at least. I'm sure Square Enix will do some crazy Play Arts Kai stuff, but, you know, I'm not interested in that. 6-inch for life, baby. Until next time, peace out, YouTube.